Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.
Hello, good evening. Welcome. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live from Sabata Desawe Kanda, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. I am Alfred Ocansey. Tonight, Office of the Special Prosecutor set to charge former Finance Minister Kenneth Nanaia Ofori-Atta and 4 others over the matters relating to the Ghana Revenue Authority and the SML deal, which was fraught with corruption and corruption-related offenses. Stay with us. We're getting to that. Also, we have an update on some of the key Operation Recover or Loot, that's the oral cases, including the National Service Authority ghost name scandal and the National Food and Buffer Stock Company scandal. Stay with us. We've got details for you. Very, very interesting developments tonight. And also in Parliament struggles to marshal a minimum of 92 members of Parliament to form a quorum for the business. The Speaker of Parliament is raising concerns about members of Parliament's absenteeism. The minority is also raising some concerns, of which the majority has been responding squarely. Stay with us. We have this, including a rounded condemnation of assault on some civilians by a soldier. Now, this video that has gone viral, we have a video of this said soldier being picked up. As to what is going to happen is the question on the minds of many, because even though this is public, the punishment of military personnel who go rogue or decide to take the law into their own hands is not made public. At least we've seen that in previous instances. There's a demand for the public shame and also punishment of this man in question. We'll get into it. As always, you're an integral part of the conversation. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Let's settle for Ghana Breeze.
The Office of the Special Prosecutor is to press charges against former Minister of Finance Ken Ofori-Atta and several other former government officials by the end of November 2025. This follows a detailed investigation into alleged corruption and related offences over the controversial Ghana Revenue Authority and Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited deal. The OSP detailed the charges and names of those involved.
The outcome of the investigation is that the OSP will charge the following persons with various corruption and corruption-related offences before the end of November 2025. 1. Kenneth Nanaia Ofori-Atta, former Minister of Finance. 2. Ernest Akori, Chef de Cabinet to Kenneth Nanaia Ofori-Atta as Minister of Finance. 3. Emmanuel Kofi-Nti, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 4. Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 5. Isaac Krenzel, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and General Manager of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. 6. Kwejo Damwa, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and Member of Parliament for German South constituency.
Former Buffer Stock Chief Executive Officer Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Seidu are still in custody despite being granted bail earlier today. The couple, who pleaded not guilty to financial impropriety charges, are yet to meet bail conditions. Lawyer for the former Buffer Stock CEO and his wife spoke to the media after proceedings.
I cannot for a fact state that we'll be able to go through everything today to enable them to go home, but we are putting our best together, and then our sureties are putting themselves also together to see how the bail conditions could be met before the close of work today. If we are unable to do it, we shall continue tomorrow, because the cry for justice is not on a silver platter, and we'll do that which will enable us to have the temporary reprieve for my client pending trial.
Parliament hit a standstill on Thursday when proceedings stalled due to a critical lack of quorum of at least 92 members out of the 276 to commence business. Minority MPs raised alarm and accused their colleagues of abandoning their duty barely a day after the Speaker threatened to sanction habitually absent MPs.
In the wisdom of the Ghanaian people, they elected a supermajority for this 9th parliament. And one will expect that out of this 189 of them, even if 99 of them were to stay at home, they will still have the 90 members of parliament required to form a quorum to do business. And why are they not showing up? And why is this majority turning out to be an absentee majority? We think what is happening now is totally embarrassing.
Kumasi China City Mall is now a pile of ash and dangerously erected scaffolding. A fierce fire consumed the massive store in the early hours of Thursday. Goods worth millions of cedis were consumed by the blaze at the mega store located around Santasi Roundabout. The regional fire commander, ACFO Peter Tete, who was at the scene, addressed the media.
Combustible materials that they sell over here, including the structure itself, makes it very possible for fire to spread very, very fast. Yes. So for now, the whole building has been engulfed. If you check the building, one, there are so many cracks in the building, and secondly, the building itself or the structure has tilted, which is so dangerous.
The government's plan to review a national airline and improve public transport is under pressure from the minority in Parliament, which is calling for more transparency in private sector involvement. On Thursday, the Transport Minister confirmed that proposals have been received from interested parties, but declined to reveal details or identify the entities involved, explaining that a proposal has been submitted to the presidency for validation.
We have stages at which, when we get to, we will be able to account to our people. Now, for asking me why or how do people know I'm bringing proposals, they are business people. And every day, government receives proposals from people or interested parties to do business with government. And if you bring a proposal tomorrow, I will receive it. But at a time that it will be looked at, we have not yet gotten there. That is what I carry to you. And I'm not sure I can turn any Ghanaian or businessman away from expressing interest in having to partner government establish a national airline.
There's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. It's proudly brought to you by Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior, Sasso Inside Spray and Coil, Coming up next year on Ghana Tonight. It's a major development in the SML scandal or the saga. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor moves to charge the former Finance Minister Kenneth Nanaya Kontokonu-Kofor-Yatta and 4 ex-GRA officials with corruption. We've got details for you as the Special Prosecutor put out earlier today, and as we did show you that live coverage of that press conference earlier today. But for the uninitiated, the Office of Special Prosecutor is to press charges against the former Finance Minister Kenneth Nanaya Kofor-Yatta and several other former government officials by the end of the month. So the OSP gave the timeline for this charge, or the decision to charge these persons, as by the end of the month of November. All right. Now, this follows a detailed investigation into the alleged corruption and related offenses over the controversial Ghana Revenue Authority and the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, as the SML deal, which you recall was a subject of an audit by KPMG. The Special Prosecutor disagreed with portions of the KPMG report, that audit report, but let's hear from him exactly what he said regarding the involvement of Kenneth Kofor-Yatta, which the Special Prosecutor describes him as the major architect, the main brain behind this entire SML scandal. Take a look.
Seeing that PP had not responded to the second GRA application 6 weeks after the request was transmitted, and the powerful behind-the-curtain chief promoter, patron, and sponsor of SMEL, Mr. Kofor-Yatta, was insistent on pushing the company into revenue assurance space through Mr. Inti. Mr. Inti repeated the second application by GRA to PPA for the sole sourcing of SMEL and Ghana Link by a letter dated 14 September 2017, which was almost word for word with the 1 August 2017 request. PPA certainly had had enough by this time, and it responded by a letter dated 29 September 2017 and rejected the second repeated GRA request. PPA forcefully stated that SMEL has still not shown any proven capacity in terms of experience and provision of similar assignments intended to be undertaken under the proposed joint venture agreement with Ghana Link. PPA also noted that the relationship between SMEL and Ghana Link did not provide the needed joint capacity to undertake the assignment, since SMEL will not be responsible for the bulk of the assignment by GRA's requirements.
So that's the Special Prosecutor's verdict there on the involvement of Kenneth Kofor-Yatta. He also spoke regarding the persons who collaborated in this entire scandal, that has cost the nation that much. And how he says he's going to retrieve some 125 million Ghana cedis from SML. But these are the persons that he says he's going to charge by the end of the month of November, including Kenneth Kofor-Yatta. Take a look.
The outcome of the investigation is that the OSP will charge the following persons with various corruption and corruption-related offenses before the end of November 2025. 1. Kenneth Nanaya Kofor-Yatta, former Minister of Finance. 2. Ernest Akori, chef de cabinet to Kenneth Nanaya Kofor-Yatta as Minister of Finance. 3. Emmanuel Kofi-Nti, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 4. Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, former Commissioner General of Ghana Revenue Authority. 5. Isaac Krentzel, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and General Manager of Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. 6. Kwejo Damwa, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of Ghana Revenue Authority and Member of Parliament for German South constituency. As part of the process, the OSP will seek to recover the financial loss caused to the Republic from the persons listed above. Also, the OSP will recover a total amount of 125 million cedis from SML by way of a disgorgement of unjust enrichment of overpayment by the return of the benefit of this amount it obtained unfairly at the expense of the Republic.
Well, that's kind of the charge, and then also the persons who are going to be charged alongside Kenneth Kofor-Yatta as put out by the special prosecutor earlier today. Martin Pebo is private legal practitioner and also a member of the oral preparatory team. This SML deal was part of a plethora of cases, in fact, that the oral preparatory team captured in their report that was submitted to the president. Counsel, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. You've heard the special prosecutor there giving some detailed account of the investigation they've been conducting on this SML deal for quite a while now, disagreeing with some portions of this KPMG the audit report, also indicating the 125 million they're going to recover, plus describing Kenneth Ofori-Atta as the main sponsor, the architect, the big brain behind this whole SML deal. That is strengthening the case of the special prosecutor and the calls you've been making for this trial in absentia for him to consider it.
Yeah, so the first point we say is that, look, this report comes a bit too little, too late. I say too little, too late a bit because, Ofori-Atta is bolted. If you look at the things in the report, I've read the report, okay? You would see that at least most of the things Manasseh spoke about are vindicated. So we expected Kissie Jabin to have put a bit of more weight on Manasseh Azuri and Aziamo Mensah's complaint. They had done investigations for 1 year. So that's from December 2022 till they released the documentary in December 2023 and also added a petition to the OSP. And we all know Manasseh's track record. So my first point is that OSP should have placed more weight on it and then arrested Ofori-Atta as soon as there was a change in government. Because remember that even before changing December, when NDC won, a lot of things have changed. When I say arrest, let's make a distinction. Arrest doesn't mean that you should necessarily keep him 3 months, 4 years, 10 years. No. The arrest can be for even 1 minute. Arrest basically, put in its simplest form, is you confine the person and tell him he cannot move. That's an arrest. Or even sometimes if you don't touch him. For now, I'm leaving at the technical point. I just want to make the point that when we say arrest, it doesn't mean you detain him for years. No, it's just to tell him that he no longer has the right to move freely. He can't. So it's not every time that they'll put handcuffs. So when you do the arrest, then you can then bail him, okay, offer him bail. Or some will say, let others come and bail him. Long and short, you give him conditions upon which he can go away. That's he should bring sureties. He should bring XYZ properties. So the key point is that Kissie Jabin didn't have to wait to do these lengthy investigations before arresting Ofori-Atta and asking him to post conditions, bail conditions like, okay, bring this properties worth 50 million Ghana, etc. That is a key thing wanted, and that is what the NDC foot soldiers had been asking for as soon as President Mahama won. They started saying that, hey, close the airports, don't let the MPP appointees run away. So the meaning was that take proactive measures to make sure they don't run away. Of course, you cannot literally close the airport. It just means that for all the suspects, bring them in and put conditions, bail bonds on their heads. So I mean, what I read, I don't know what is radically different from it, from the Manasseh report. At least there was enough. And as I said, are we saying that at this time we cannot trade on Manasseh's work? It's not bankable? It is. So what is this whole thing that investigations take time? Investigations take time. Yes, then Kissie Jabin sat on his hands to allow Ofori-Atta to flee. That is the major point. If we don't deal with that, we can't see the rest of this report. I'm not excited. I'm not excited because Ofori-Atta is the kingpin. He's the crown jewel. If you let him bolt, the rest, it doesn't create any seriousness. It doesn't show any picture of seriousness on the part of the OSP to fight corruption. You say, so for me, this report is too little, too late. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do this before arresting Ofori-Atta and granting him bail. So that today, Now that he's not in, it will make the trial in absentia easier, and also most especially would have taken some properties as conditions for bail. You see how Iyoko was dealing with Chairman Wuntumi, Abdul Hanan, etc. Yes, of course, I'm not in support of the detention beyond 48 hours without a judge's order. No, I'm just referring to the bail conditions that post bail 20 million, 10 million. That is what I expected OSP to do before Ufuriata got a chance to flee. And then Ernest Akori. And as Ernest Akori is also not in Ghana, he has also fled. So these two people, they fled. So this is a huge blow to the fight against corruption. This shows, look, I dare say criminal negligence that our law enforcement agency, OSP SAT, was lackluster, was reticent, wasn't proactive enough, and allowed Furiata and Nesakore to flee this jurisdiction. So, well, maybe what they can do to redeem a bit of the trust that they've lost is to quickly put in place measures to be able to do a trial in absentia. We don't have to wait for Oforiatta to come through the extradition process. No. Oforiatta himself has offered that he will cooperate from America. So through that cooperation, if you're able to show the judge, we contacted him on this day, this, told him about the trial, the charge, criminal charges, etc. If it doesn't come, our judges will allow the trial to go on. Mr. Ocansey, if you have the Constitution, they can read Article 19, Clause 3A. The key thing is that to do a trial in absentia, you should inform the accused person, give him notification of an impending trial, notification of an impending trial, notification. So if Oforiatta is in the US and you notify him and he says he will not come, our laws allow a trial in absentia.
Okay.
I've heard various theories that to do trial in absentia, Oforiatta should have tenure. That's not true. Let's look at the wording of our Constitution. Okay. Article 19, Clause 3A says that if you give the accused notice and he fails to act.
Since you reference that, I read that just for the benefit of our viewers and our listeners, and kindly stay with me. It says Article 19.3.8 says that the trial of a person charged with a criminal offense shall take place in his presence unless A, he refuses to appear before the court for the trial to be conducted in his presence after he has been duly notified of the trial. So the emphasis is on the meaning of 19.3a. That applies in this context relating to all the issues with Ken Oforiatta and why he cannot come in, and the reasons he's giving and how long it will take him to recover after this surgery he's gone through. So the conditions around Ken Oforiatta's absence fits 19.3a. Reason why you're confident that this trial in absentia is the immediate option to take?
Rely on the E. And let me quickly answer this question. There's also another question that's been nagging citizens. Those who are saying they want to see him, they want to see him. Now, our key challenge is that, yes, I mean, if he's brought here, remember we too, civil society organizations have sued him. Okay, in a civil case, it stalled a bit because we can't get him to try him. So if Oforiatta comes, we'll be happy. But let's note this technical point. Now he's out of the jurisdiction. So I'm advancing a case of half a loaf is better than none. There are about 6 cases against him. So we can take 2 or 3 and do the trial in absentia. So that the key thing, please, my argument is this. The key thing is that when we try him in absentia and is convicted, the monies that we've lost, etc., we can then go against his properties in Ghana. Look, he's a shareholder, big shareholder in Data Bank, okay? He's also a shareholder at what? Enterprise Insurance. The workers of SIC kept complaining that Oforiatta's enterprise was collapsing their business, etc. So they've made money at enterprise. So the key thing is that, please, my argument is this. The man is not yet here. Since we don't have a court case against him, there does not appear to be any freezing orders against his shares in Enterprise Insurance, Data Bank, and the other companies they own stuff in. It means we may lose all, like what we did in the Japan case when Deep Sea, the Dubai company, sought to pay for the ambulances, return our money to us, and then Godfrey Dami said, no. He wants to get evicted because Oforiatta and President Kufuor were forcing him to do so. They were on his neck, asking him to do a political witch hunt. No, let's not do that. If we take two, even one, and prosecute, and then we can go after these assets, that will be half a loaf. It's better than none. Then as and when we finish the extradition, he can come and face the rest of the trials. So it's better we act proactively. Let's not sit on our hands and lose everything because we want to see Oforiatta in person in Ghana here.
Well, but Counsel, he's made the point clearly today. I'm talking about the special prosecutor, that he's going to charge him together with the 5 others by the end of the month of November, which is just about a month away from now. He will charge them. Does that not suffice?
Oh, but no, it doesn't, because as I said, the damage has already been done. Remember, it has already been done by OSP sitting down and allowing Oforiatta to escape, right? Then number 2, by the end of the month, as far as I'm aware, the extradition process hasn't reached any stage where we can confidently say at the end of November, Oforiatta will be here. Of course, he can voluntarily come. If he comes voluntarily, fine. So the OSP should have answered the question of whether he's going ahead with a trial in absentia or not. So I cannot be confident when he hasn't shown his hands that when you say you are charging them, it's not the same as saying, and so for Oforiatta, who is not in Ghana today, if he's not back, we are doing a trial in absentia. Or did you hear that from the OSP?
No, he didn't say. In fact, what he said, Counsel, was that he's actually going to go ahead with the process of extradition as has started. He will go through the process. There was really no indication from him, considering this proposal that you and others have been making, that he should consider a trial in absentia. That didn't come up.
We are not going to sit for that. We are not going to sit for that. So if you charge them, listen, at the end of the month, and look, let's note the words well. If he says he's going to charge them by the end of the month, please, charging a person is not the same as arraigning him in court. It's okay. So let's pull back and he said he would charge them at the end of the month, right?
Yes, that's what he said. At the end of the month of November, as a matter of fact.
Yes, now let's explain. It's a technical term. When we say we are charging a person with an offense, please, charging is not done in court. What you see in court, when they read the charges and say guilty or not guilty, then the person will say whichever. That's arraignment. To arraign the person, A-R-R, then you go on. So that's arraignment. That's sending the person to court. But when you say, I will charge them, the meaning is that there will be a formal accusation that now the state is confident that you've committed X, Y, Z offenses, the corruption and corruption-related offenses. That's it. It's an official, a charge. Charging the person is an official notification that, look, whether the state's case is good or not, but the meaning of it is that the state is confident that you've committed the offense. So what is your response? So they will just write. So there's an official sheet they use. They will write at the top, so is charged with the offense of this. Then there are the other things. You need not say anything, but whatever you say will be put down in writing, blah, blah, blah. So I'm saying that the charging is done in the OSP office. Or if Yoko is going to charge you, they go and charge you in the Yoko office. If CID headquarters, that's where they are charging you, you go there. Or if it's any ordinary case, you go to the police station. So Adenta Police, Nima Police, ministries, all those. They charge people there, the various offenses. So charging is not the same as arraigning the person in court. So you see, like I said, I can't be confident. If he had told you that soon after charging, they will be arraigned, and that if Oforiatta doesn't come, they will do trial in absentia, then I would have said, well, it's an attempt to ameliorate the deficit, the trust deficit that has been caused. Is huge. The cut is very deep because for Oforiatta to have escaped in plain sight like that, I mean, come on. From December 9th, when it was clear John Mahama had won, for OSP to have sat and allowed Oforiatta to go out, come in, and then go again and not come without arrest and asking him to post bail bond. Oh no, I don't know what will eventually appease Ghanaians. And keep remembering, you see, they say you can't fool all the people all the time. No, you can't fool all the people all the time. Lay people who are not lawyers knew that some of these appointees would be a flight risk. So they said close the borders, close the airport. You didn't learn anything from it. Oh.
That's appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Martin Pebo is private legal practitioner. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Now, this is a conversation that is going to be unfolding in many ways, especially because of this timeline that the special prosecutor himself has given. End of November, he's going to charge these 6. First, Kenneth Nanaya Oforiatta, the former finance minister, Ernest Akori, chef de cabinet to Kenneth Nanaya Oforiatta as Minister for Finance. We'll put them on the screen right now. We're just hearing as well that from Martin Pebo today that this gentleman as well is out of the jurisdiction, Ernest Akori. And then we have Emmanuel Kofinti, the former Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, as well as Reverend Amishadai Owusu Amwa, former Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Isaac Krentel, former Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and General Manager of SML. So he was a former Commissioner of the Customs Division of the GRA before he was appointed as General Manager of SML. Then there is Kojo Damwa. He is currently the Member of Parliament for the German South constituency, but who also was a former Commissioner of Customs of the Ghana Revenue Authority. So these are the identities of the 6 that the special prosecutor say by end of November is going to charge them. But the lawyer for Ken Oforiatta has been talking, and I'm talking about private legal practitioner Frank Davis. He's indicated via Joy FM earlier this evening that, quote, referencing the OSP, coming to narrate and talk long and needless English is a conviction in itself. He, special prosecutor, says he's going to charge him, Ken Oforiatta. He should go ahead and stop this gimmicking. Is this the first time the OSP has come out to say something about Ken Oforiatta? Once upon a time, what did he tell us? That Oforiatta should either come to this country or he would force his entry. I mean, says amateurish and childish fights. Let me tell you, Kenneth Nanaya Kuntunkununku Oforiatta is not afraid of prosecution. Let the car roll for the OSP. The accused person will have his vehicle. So let's stop this theatrics. That is Frank Davis' clear message to the special prosecutor and the position as counsel for Ken Oforiatta. His put out there. We'll see indeed how this matter is going to roll out in the coming days, and those who have a strong view that the OSP should at this point consider a trial in absentia. But coming up next on Ghana Tonight, fresh updates on key Operation Recover or Loot. That's oral cases from the National Service Ghost Name Scandal. We started it yesterday and we showed you how much was paid to the former Director General of the National Service Authority and his deputy, who were enrolled in a particular year as national service persons, and how much those monies could have really helped in dealing with the matters of national service. And this is one that earlier today as well, the former Director General of the National Service Authority was in court And we have an update on that because Osei Asibe Enchi is spending the night in custody after failing to meet bail conditions. Now, Asibe Enchi, who pleaded not guilty to multiple charges of stealing, money laundering, and causing financial loss to the state, was granted an 800 million bail with 6 sureties, all to be justified. Dennis Pabari is with me in here. It's a big one, you know.
It's a big one, and it's not surprising that he's spending the night in custody, because when you look at the amount involved, 800 million Ghana cedis.
That's no chicken change.
That's a lot of money.
With 6 sureties.
With 6 sureties to be justified. And that's where the difficulty is.
And placed on immigration stop list.
Precisely. I think it's one thing which has been running through all these cases, that each time the accused persons are given bail, more often than not, they put them on the immigration stop lists.
I mean, they cannot travel.
Exactly. Because the fear is that they may be flight risks. And for that reason, they put them on the immigration stop list.
So but they take their passports as well?
Yes. Others, the court makes specific orders that their passports be deposited. But of course, even before they get there, mind you, some of these investigations were done by IOCO, and some of them by in some instances, the OSP, CID. So usually at that level itself, when they grant you a bail there, they request for your passport.
Interesting stuff.
Right. So, I mean, finally, you recall that this man, that's the former Director General of the National Service Authority, was supposed to have appeared before the court some weeks ago. But his lawyer went to court to make the argument that he hadn't been served, for which reason he was unable to appear before the court on that particular day. The court instructed that hearing notices be issued to him so that he will be properly served and come before the court. That has happened. He was in court today. He pleaded not guilty, 14 counts, including causing financial loss, stealing, and money laundering in respect of some huge amount of money. And this one in particular is the highest we are seeing in the scheme of things so far. So we've been looking at matters running from the SkyTrain scandal to the NPA to National Service itself. We've been looking at the figures, and this appears to be one that has the highest figure involved. We'll look at the figures generally, but let's backtrack a bit and also look at this issue of the National Food and Buffer Stock Company issue that has to do with Hanan Abdul Wahab and the wife, and then some 3 other persons. They also were admitted to bail. Hanan in particular was admitted to 100 million bail with 6 sureties, 4 to be justified. His wife, Faiza, was admitted to bail of 50 million Ghana cedis with 4 sureties, 3 to be justified.
So the National Service former director, 80 million?
No,
800 million.
Yes.
With 6 to be justified. This is 100 million.
Wahab is 100 with 6.
With 6
to be justified.
And the wife 50 million.
Yeah, so cumulatively, they are dealing with 150 million. And that's their offenses: stealing, fraudulently causing financial loss to the Republic, money laundering, defrauding by false pretenses, dishonestly receiving, intentionally causing financial loss to the Republic, and intentional dissipation of public funds. These are the matters that they are dealing with. I mean, and if you also recall, in the matter of the Deputy Director General of the former Deputy Director General of the National Service, she was admitted to bail to the sum of 10 million. So when you look at her figure, it's relatively low. And when we begin to look at the numbers involved, because usually that also informs the conditions that the court will impose on you.
Right.
She was admitted to bail 10 million Ghana cedis, 2 sureties to be justified, 5 counts, including stealing, willful causing financial loss to the Republic, using public office for profit, and money laundering. Now, Alfred, let's begin to look at the numbers, just so we appreciate what we are talking about and why I made the comment that the one that has to do with the former Director General of the National Service Authority, Osei Asibe Enchi, is the highest so far. When you look at the amount of money that is involved, when you look at the case that the Attorney General has built against him, the money involved is 615.1 million Ghana cedis.
Right.
That's how much money is involved in respect of him. And mind you, in his case, he's charged alone, unlike the MPA case that you have as many as 10 people in there. He is charged alone, and the money involved is 615.1 million Ghana cedis.
Because yesterday...
So this alone explains, in parts, why the bill is in the region of 800 million,
million.
because the thinking of the courts usually when it comes to imposing bail conditions is also how to secure whatever is at stake.
Yeah.
So that could be a reason, but of course, bail by law is at the discretion of the court. Now, so let's compare those figures. In the case of the Republic versus Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid and 9 others, that's the MPA case. The amount of money involved is some 302.6 million Ghana cedis. And that's because the cedi equivalent, the cedi amount in that figure, it's some 297.6 million. There's also a dollar component of it, which when you do the mathematics, it's going to be in the regions of some 3 million Ghana cedis. When you do the math and you add everything, you are looking at 302.6 million Ghana cedis involved.
So the dollar component in there is about 332,000.
Yes. So we're just assuming that even if we were to assume that the dollar is 15 cedis to a cedi, then this is the amount we're looking at. It's still far, far below the figure that we're looking at in the case of the National Service, the former National Service Director General matter. Also in the case of the Republic versus Hanan Abdul Wahab, the buffer stock matter, the amount involved is 78.2 million Ghana cedis. That's, I mean, in relation to the National Service, is woefully down there. Also looking at the case of Republic versus Kwabena Adubuahin and others, the former National Signals Bureau boss. In his case, we are dealing with a figure of 49.1 million Ghana cedis, the $7 million dollar equivalent of this figure. So that's what we are dealing with. That figure, too, when you look at it, it's obvious.
Absolutely.
In the case of the former Deputy of National Service, her figure is some 38.5 million Ghana cedis, and that's of the Republic versus Solomon Asamoah and then Professor Amia Okumfi. This is the SkyTrain matter. The dollar equivalent is 2 million United States dollars. When we convert it, also on the assumption that the dollar is 15 cedis, you are looking at something in the region of 30 million Ghana cedis. So when you look at all the figures, you can appreciate why we say that so far, this is the highest that we are seeing. We are dealing with a matter in which the money involved is 615.1 million Ghana cedis. Alfred, there's a last one, which has to do with the matter you just discussed a while ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the OSP, on the totality of it, he did indicate that he's seeking to recover some amount of money from SML. That money, he puts it at the region of 125 million Ghana cedis. So that's two, in relation to the 650 million we are seeing, is
absolutely
very low.
But then, you see, you can understand why, because yesterday you established how much was reported to have been paid to Asibe Entry,
yes,
the former National Service Authority boss, on that e-switch that was found in his residence.
Yes.
And then also some other monies that were paid to him. Cumulatively, said that amount could have paid 715.
That's just the amount that was service. That's just the amount that was on the e-switch card.
Yeah.
However, the amount of money that is involved when it comes to monies that were paid to ghosts, I mean, as the case has been built by the Attorney General, that is what constitutes the larger part of the amount of money. And what we see in there is just in the region of some 8 million cedis. When I say just, it's not as if the money is just small, but in the scheme of things, like what we're talking about here.
Absolutely.
Yes. But we're looking at a figure of 615, and we're talking about 8 million. I mean,
it's just a fraction of it.
Exactly.
Obviously.
So those are the matters we're dealing with. They've pleaded guilty. The state has been ordered to file disclosures, or the prosecution has been ordered to file disclosures. So what we are beginning to see is the case now beginning to shape up. In the absence of any interlocutory applications or interlocutory matters, we are hopeful that the case will progress by end of year. We'll make progress. Trial begins, and I mean, they have the opportunity to, prove their innocence. Like I always say, it's not as if they're going to prove anything, but it's the burden is on the state to prove.
True.
But of course, they are also there to clear their names.
Absolutely, and you put a total. We just did the mathematics, right? And then we're saying that all things being equal, all of these cases, these are the cases that are being pursued as of now. The AG has indicated there's more, because if you look at the oral report, there are quite a number of them, and a number of cases that are under investigation as we speak, right?
Yeah.
We're looking at this, the drip.
Yes,
and then there is also
National Cathedral.
There's National Cathedral. There is Sputnik V.
Yep.
The Sputnik V vaccine also under investigation. But
in fact, the national service matter is still not over because the Attorney General has told us that there are other aspects of it that he'll be dealing with because he intends to bring charges against some of the vendors who were on that marketplace.
Yeah.
Where some of the monies were routed through that marketplace, yes. So we're also expecting that charges will be brought in respect of that.
You know, some 2.2 billion CDs had been put up as the possible monies that could be recovered from the oral cases. Dr. Adam Shremsai, Deputy Attorney General, said that figure was too high.
Yes.
Right? But so far, if you do the maths based on what we do know, as put out by the Attorney General, the case is being pursued, we're over 1.2 billion.
Already.
CDs.
And this is just a handful of the cases, actually.
Right.
But we are just doing this because these are the active cases now, which are before the law courts.
True.
I mean, some of them, not all of them, actually, but these are the high-profile ones that we're having to deal with, and also those that have very significant amounts involved.
But the AG has indicated you cannot recover all in all cases. But just for the benefit of understanding of our viewers, if you say, let's go back to the charges.
Charges, okay.
Yes, and let's explain something in a minute for our viewers to understand. If you say that the persons have been granted bail and also some persons are to stand surety for them through, what exactly does that mean?
Well, so it simply means that the court needs to be able to secure the presence of the accused persons for trial. So in that regard, we are saying, if I may use you as an example, even though you're not an accused person, supposing you're an accused person, and I am the judge, I need to be sure that you will be available to attend trial.
Right.
In that instance, I say, okay, bring people so that if I don't find you,
right,
I will rely on those people to ensure your attendance.
Bring Jackson, Joseph Akable,
and all those people. And that in doing so, you just don't bring men of straw. Bring people who have,
one
in this
is
case,
a lawyer, one is a producer.
No, I mean, but there should be more to it.
Okay.
So usually when they say it has to be justified, more often than not, it's with landed property.
Okay.
It could be land, it could be a house and all that. So that if they don't find you, they themselves know that they have something which is at stake. Okay. So they will do everything possible to ensure your attendance. If in the event that they don't get it, then it means that we have to go into another matter of having to take that property from them.
Good stuff.
And many thanks to Learned Counsel Martin Pebu. It used to be the case that if they were not able to produce you, they would arrest them. But thanks to him, that law is no longer applicable. Now they would rather have you forfeit that property rather than having you arrested.
Martin Pebu has inked his name in our jurisprudence.
Precisely so.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, Dennis Poberi Wadamesko. I'll be back shortly after this quick break. We'll take you to Parliament because concerns about attendance to the business of the House by MPs. Stay with us.
Why are more
Come back. This is Ghana Tonight. Parliament hit a standstill earlier today when proceedings stalled due to a critical lack of quorum of at least 92 out of the 276 members of parliament needed to commence business. The minority MPs raised alarm and accused their colleagues on the majority side of abandoning the business of the House. Take a look at this. Let's hear from the First Deputy Minority Whip and a Member of Parliament for the Tolong constituency, Abib Idris.
Only 70 in the chamber. And for that matter, Mr. Speaker, I urge you to apply the rules that we don't have quorum as stated in Article 102 of the 1992 Constitution to continue with this parliament.
The NDC majority, the NDC group in this House, constitutes 189 out of the 276 members of parliament. That is a supermajority, and that is 2/3 of all the members of parliament, all the 276 members of parliament. This is unprecedented. It's never happened before in the fourth Republican dispensation. Indeed, it's never even happened in the whole history of our country. And one will expect that out of this 189 of them, even if 99 of them were to stay at home, they will still have the 90 members of parliament required to form a quorum to do business. And why are they not showing up? And why is this majority turning out to be an absentee majority? We think what is happening now is totally embarrassing, it's most unfortunate, and it's a situation where the majority is simply engaging dereliction of duty and taking the Ghanaian people for granted. We know that in the 8th Parliament, we had a hung parliament.
Let's hear from the majority, the response that the Deputy Roads and Highways Minister gave, and also the Majority Chief Whip, Nelson Roxon Dapemepo, gave to this position that the minority took earlier today. Take a look.
The Deputy Whip of the minority side, when I look on their side, I do not see their members present, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the pecs, Mr. Speaker, the pecs, Mr. Speaker, the perks that they enjoy as leaders is to ensure that they also, especially as whips, they ensure that their members are present. Mr. Speaker, this house is not made up of only majority members of parliament. This house is made up of two parties, and we expect that our numbers be present, but we also expect that the minority that have also been voted to represent their constituents are marshaled to be in the House. So, Mr. Speaker, I am disappointed in the leadership of the whip that he's not able to whip his side to be on the floor, and he's advertising it the way he's doing.
We implore leaders of committees, chairmen and ranking members that they should arrange committee businesses from about 9 a.m. up to about midday, so that by 1 p.m. we'll be ready to start business at 2 p.m. We are depleted because of the committee sittings. As we speak, public accounts is sitting, they just adjourn for the day. A committee on state interest is sitting. A committee on communications also sat. And others are also sitting. So, Mr. Speaker.
So you recall yesterday the Speaker had cause to raise concern about this, and today it took center stage in Parliament as well. But before we go, the Ghana Armed Forces earlier today confirmed the arrest of a soldier captured on CCTV assaulting a female customer and at a pharmacy, and a pharmacy attendant as well, in the Bema Camp area. The suspect has been identified at Warrant Officer Class 1, Mensa Williams. That's him you'll see there. Was seen in the footage repeatedly slapping the attendant before turning on a young woman believed to be a customer. For those who've not seen the video, that's what you see on the screen there. And apparently, information is that he had sent his son to buy some medicine and later came back to get a reasonable and highly unfortunate incident there. many who are expecting to hear from the Ghana Armed Forces, that statement has come out. Say they've arrested the soldier seen in this viral video and assaulting a drugstore attendant and a female customer on Wednesday at a pharmacy in Bemakam. The arrest of the suspect was carried out by Ghana military police personnel at dawn today. So we have a video of the arrest. So we're going to put that on the screen right now. It said the suspect is assisting in investigation over the incident. The victims have also undergone medical attention and are also assisting with the investigation. So the video is what you see there. This is a gentleman. The military police went in there to his house to arrest him. That's this said W01, the perpetrator of this act of criminality. The armed forces assures the general public that it will not condone any acts of assault on civilians and will not shield any soldier engaged in such. Well, the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana have also issued a statement. They say they are following this keenly. They want the punishment that will be meted out to this gentleman to be made public so that we will all get to know what is going to happen to this W01 for this assault on these innocent persons. So there's more of this on 3news.com. On behalf of the rest of the team, we do appreciate your company. I am Alfred Ocansey. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.